So we go to variables. Who does not understand what we've done so far with variables? Okay. Who is hey, you are enjoying Charlie, Jonathan, I'm not enjoying Charlie. No, your man hasn't eaten. I'm just hungry. Um let me just Jonathan is completing me. So let me just we were at variable naming conventions in Python. And I was saying that just like any language, whether Ga, Adangbe, Ewe, Tree, or any English or any language, we have conventions. We have grammatical conventions. We have some respects. A lot of things going in there. So the same way, Python is a language to the computer, just as Tree or English is a language to us. So it has a convention. It has a way you have to communicate with it. So, for example, if you want to create variables, you don't just do it anyhow. We have conventions you have to follow. Conventions are just like norms you have to follow. So the first thing is, so the first to follow is actually, or the first rule is, you know, a variable name can only contain alphabets, and then alphabets, that is A to Z, or the capitals, that is A to Z. It can be small letters or capitals or numbers. Or let me keep it this way so that I don't confuse. So numbers and an underscore. So that is the underscore sign. This. So a variable name can only contain alphabets, that is small letters from A to Z, or capitals, or it can also contain numbers from 0 to 9, that is any number in this world, and an underscore or an underscore, and or an underscore. So these are the three things a variable name can contain. So you cannot add percentage sign to a variable, you cannot add a dot, full stop to a variable, a comma to a variable name. No, it's only alphabets, either small letters, capital letters, a mixture of them, numbers, or you know um, underscore. And mind you, numbers alone cannot stand as a variable name. You cannot say one is equal to two, and you expect two to be saved in one. No, it doesn't work that way in Python. So you have to know that, just as we did here, it can be only variable, only letters, say like name, and it can be maybe it can be capital name, it can be all caps, or it can be any way. Maybe you would like to call it like this, any way you want. It can be so. But what we are trying to say is a variable name should, only contain this. So you cannot say maybe, for example, X percentage, X percent or something. No, that is not a variable name. That's not how we create variable names in Python. And you cannot do maybe X dot Y, or maybe X comma Y, something like that. X comma Y or something. No, you cannot do that. Or maybe X dash Y. You cannot do that. The only things, or the only materials you can use to create a variable name is either alphabets, numbers, or underscore. That is a mixture of them. Or only, I haven't checked this. Let me check whether only underscore can be a variable name. So one. Now let's see. So yes, only underscore can be a variable name. So underscore is equal to one. And if you print underscore, if you print underscore, you can see we have one. So underscore alone can stand as a variable name, but only numbers, apart from numbers, all the others, alphabets alone can stand as a variable name, but numbers alone cannot stand as a variable name. For example, what I mean is you cannot say 2 is equal to 1. Is it you get error? You cannot say 4.5 or 3.4 is equal to 1 or something like that. You cannot do that. That is what that is what I mean by that. So a variable name can only contain alphabets, numbers, and an underscore or a mixture of them. So we can have maybe, for example, first underscore name, and then let's say let that be maybe Muta, something like that. We can also have maybe instead of first name, I can say name one. That is name one is equal to say Muta. I can say maybe name underscore one equal to Muta. I can do that. But I cannot do name dot one equal to Muta. I cannot do um, one, maybe any other thing apart from these ones. Yes, that's what I mean. And then the two, I don't know whether it is clear. The two rule, the second rule is that a variable name cannot begin with a number. You cannot begin a variable name with a number. This is a common convention in maths. You will see that 2x is equal to 3, 4y is equal to. You cannot say 2x is equal to 3. If you run this, you get an error. It tells you no. What you can do is instead of 2x, you can say x2. You don't have a problem. A variable name cannot, start or begin with a number. It should always begin with either a letter or an underscore. So instead of saying 2x is equal to 3, you can say x2 is equal to 3, something like that. Or maybe x underscore 2 is equal to 3, like this. X underscore 2 is equal to 3, something like that. All these ones are allowed. But you cannot begin a variable name with a number. And the third thing to know is that I think this is more like a convention. When you don't do, you don't get an error. So a variable name must represent must be short first. Must be short and represent its content. Let me put it down. So what I mean is, a variable name must be short. You don't need to say, for example, if you're asking somebody to provide this, um, what is or a university, you don't say maybe what underscore is your university name is equal to input what is your university. You won't get an error. If I run, I get it. So I am from KNUST and I don't get an error, but it is not a good practice. What is like the variable name is, it's more like a whole by dictionary or something like that. It is too much. You just instead of saying or calling a variable what is your university name, you can just take what is your out in this case university name, or someone will just say no, just university is equal to. So this is quite good practice as compared to what is your university name, the first one. So you can say university is equal to, someone would even say uni. is equal to um, what is your distance, so that he will know that okay, uni means university. So and then it is short. It makes your programming very brief, and anyone who picks it don't get confused. And it also says it should represent its content. So what we mean by that is it shouldn't. Let's say for example, you have university, and you are storing or you are asking what is your name. You get it, university, and you are storing the person's name in a variable called university. If find it is cool with you, it might confuse somebody. You see, if you give your code to somebody, the person expects seeing a variable called university, he expects something about university to be stored in that variable, not somebody's name, right? So that is one good practice to look at. And then the last thing, which is actually a note, like a note, like an ND is not actually a convention. You should know that variable names are case sensitive. Sensitive. What we mean by that is if we have, for example, here, you see x is equal to apple, right? So if I come here and say print x, I'll get apple. But if I change, you see the x is small letter x. If I change it to capital letter X and run, I get error. Small letter x is not the same as capital letter X. This is what we mean by variable names are case sensitive. So if I have name, it is never the same as name, and it is never the same as name. They are all different. So take note of that. Sometimes you forget as a beginner in programming, you would forget and you'll be stressed. What is happening to my this thing? I've been doing this and then it is doing me that and blah. You should check your variable names, the cases whether you use the right thing. Yes. So that is something more about variables and how we create them, how we can call them. If you want to call a variable, just as I do, you can just type the variable name, and when you run, you get whatever is stored in it. Or you can use the print function. If you want to display, you just use sorry, my you can use print and you put the variable name there. Now you realize I don't put it in quote, though it is a word. It is so because it is not an ordinary word. It is ordinary word. It is actually a variable, something a space in Python where we are keeping something. So Python now knows name, small letter name, name as a space in it. So you can see it, something like that. Now let me now move on to now we've known input, output, we've known some basic calculations or using Python as a calculator, doing additions, subtractions and stuff. We've known variables. Now there is something very, very important called data types. Data is, I think, in basic school 4, when we were in P4, yes, all of us, or maybe P5. Those who even went to good schools in P2, you were taught what is a computer. A computer is an electronic device which takes in data and process it into a meaningful information or something like that, right? So it takes in data. Data is anything we feed into the computer. So your name you feed when we ask you what is your name and you input your name, it is data to the machine or to the computer. When you input your age, um it is a data to Python. So anything we feed into the computer is data, and anything it gives us is information. Now we have a lot of types of data. Types of data we actually give to or we actually give to the computer. So you can see someone maybe you may give your name, I may give my age, someone may give your city, someone may give a lot of things. So in Python, we have four main types of like data. So the first one is numeric, that is numbers. We either give numbers. Numbers, they can be whole numbers as your name 19, sorry, your age 19, 20, 24, maybe in my case 55, yeah, 55 years. I'm not that young. And in Python, numbers, the whole numbers are called integers, and the decimals are called float. Float. If you hear float, you mean decimals, and if you hear integer, integer is common, so whole number integer in our elementary mathematics. Now, apart from numbers or numerics, we also have strings. String is you know, anything apart from numbers. So those things you put in quote are all strings. It can be a word, a character, a comma, all those ones, those are characters. The at sign, whatever, and then sentences, a collection of words or something like that. All of them are strings. So for example, your name, you give your name Akusua, Ajewa, or maybe Isa Samira or something. So that is actually, you know, a sentence. It is not a number. So that is a string. That is what we call string is anything other than a number in Python. Simple. And we have boolean or a bool, bool. So bool is like true or false. Is it true? Is it false? Those who come from mathematics background, I'm sure you did a course on is it logics and set. So is this true? Yes. Is this false? This false? No, or something like that. Yes or no? True or false? That is bool. So when we talk of boolean, Python also has a way of understanding something. In future programming, when we advance, you would know the usefulness of this. The boolean is just, I told you string is anything apart other than, numbers. But reserve these two. True or false is in Python is called boolean. It is a special data type. We have it is very useful. Later you will know how we use that for. Now look at how the true is spelled. It starts with capital T and the first starts with small t. Sorry, capital F. So if you don't write them the same way you see here, they are not boolean, they are actually strings. But if you write them with capital T, R, the capital T, or you start them with capitals, then they become boolean. So that is one thing. And then we have collections. Now you can see that from all we do in, I'll ask you what is your name, then you input only your name. What is your maybe age, then you input your age. It is just I'm just taking a single something from you. We can have a collection that is a collection of your name, age, maybe gender, and all those together. So when we have that, then we have a collection. So apart from all these numeric strings and boolean, we can have being single, data types or single objects. We can have a collection of them, and then collections can be any of them. It can be collection of numbers, strings, or boolean, or a mixture of them, numbers, strings, boolean together. So you can have a collection of names and ages and maybe food, whether they like food, this particular food or not, something like that. And we have four main types of collections in there are more than that, but these are the basic and most important types of collections in Python. We have lists, tuple, set, and dictionary, and we will look into all of them later. But it is good you know. Now let's look at um, numbers or numeric. So for whole numbers of integers, one is a whole number. So if I run one, I don't get any error. So if and then we have 1.2, which is a float. So one is a whole number. One is a whole number. Two. And then 1.2 is actually uh, a decimal. And I told you decimals are called floats. And then whole numbers are called integers. Integer and then int. That is, so normally you see them int for short in Python. Int for integer, and float is the same float. So something like that. So decimals, we know decimals. It can be one decimal place, it can be millions. Like for example, you can have maybe 2 point something, and these are all decimals. And even 3.0 is a decimal. You know, 3.0 is a decimal. One is not a decimal. One is a whole number. Yeah. whole numbers are subsets of raw numbers. So C floats to be like raw numbers, a collection of both decimals and then whole numbers together, something like that for easy comprehension. And for strings, those are the characters. We can have X. X is a string, and we can have a sentence, we can have a name, we can have a word, we can have a sentence. But mind you, I told you anything which is a string should go into quote. So anytime you do something which is a string, which is not a variable, then you put it in quote. Always, that is a convention. You put them in quote. So you put all of them in quote. Yeah. And then for the boolean, that was what you saw, the true or false. So if you do, if you start with the capitals, you see them turning green, meaning that Python understands them. But what happens if, for example, I do true, you see it is still black. Python doesn't know that. So this is seen as a string, and then this is seen as a boolean. So this is also, and the same way if I do all caps, it is seen as a string, and then this, you can see they are all blacks. So these are actually strings. They are seen as words, unknown something. Where when you write them in this case with the initials being capital and the rest being lower cases, they will turn green, telling you that Python understands what is going on here. Yeah, that's the whole thing. So now someone asked me, what if I want to write a sentence which ends or which has true or false in it? So for example, I want to say, did you go today? Or is Python interesting? Or let's say Python is a programming language, true, false. Now, if you want to write true as a string, all you do is to put it in quotes. That's all. It can be the same format as the other one, but when it's in quotes, it is seen as that. And then when it is in, when it's not in quote and it has this, then it is a boolean. Now, how do you know the data type of a particular, let's say, variable? So for example, this one, if I want to know the data type of this, all I do is we have a method called type. So if you do type, and you can see it is in green, meaning that Python understands it. All lowercase and open and close parentheses. Mind you, every function in Python ends with open and close parentheses. So if I put true in here and I run, I get bool. So it is telling me true is a boolean. It is bool. Now if I put false to here and I run, I get a bool. What happens if I don't follow the convention and I run? I get error. Now what happens if I do the right thing? I do the right thing, but I put it in quotes. Now what happens? You can see it tells me str, that is string, the short form of string. So if you put it in quote, it sees it to be a sentence or a word or let's say any like a string. But if you don't put it in quote and it turns green like this, it is a boolean. So the same way, if I come here and check all these ones, if I wrap this with the type and I run, let me comment these ones out. And if I run, I get str. You know, let me do this one too. So let me see. My name is Muta. What's the data type? Now if I run, I get str2. Now, what is the essence of all this? Okay, now let me do this one too. Let me see. You can see this is a float. This is a decimal. Now what happens if I change this to 3, not 3.0? You see it is int. This is an integer. But if I do it 3.0, or 3 point something becomes what? A float. It is a decimal. That is a float. Yeah. So I hope this is clear. Now I was saying, what is the essence of knowing all these data types and stuff? Now it becomes very practical and it helps you prevent problems in programming. For example, you have an app where students have to provide their biodata. You know, certain students are unpredictable. Where if written enter your name, the person may accidentally enter his or her age, maybe out of confusion or frustration or something like that. So you want to prevent that. So you can specify the data type, what you want to save in a particular variable. So for example, if I have if I have let me if I have the name variable now, name is saying that is saying that I want to take an input from the person. I'm saying that what is your name? Now, see, I can enter 1, 2, and it doesn't give me anyone. Now, if I come down here and look at, I print name. My name is 12. Whose name is 12? No one has a name 12. So you can see this is an accident. Now, how do you prevent this? If you want to prevent, for example, if you want to prevent, or let's say, let me even say this, what is your age? And you run this, and maybe out of frustrations, I say, or out of broken heart, I type Muta. Whose age is Muta? Even Chinese, this is not Chinese, this is not Arabic, this is not Spanish to say that, oh, maybe Muta is a number in a particular language. Muta is my number in any particular language. So to prevent that, let's say you were collecting, information for something, and you realize students gave this. It will be frustrating, right? So to prevent this, all we do is we can specify the data type. So for example, here I can say that I want to only accept integers, because age is integer. No one is 2.5 years old. Everybody is, we take the integer part. If you are 2.5 years, you say you are 2 years. If you are 2.3, 2 point whatever, maybe 16 years and some months, you just say I'm 16 years. So to do that, we can actually wrap the whole of this into a function called, let me rewrite it again. So instead of saying just input and then just doing what is your name, I can say no. This one just takes everything. And let's look at, even before that, let's look at what happens if we do that. If we save, now if I run and I say, okay, my name is, or let me even make it, okay, let me make it, what is your age? I run and I do 12, fine. Let's say I was sensible enough. And now let's look at the data type. Is it 12 should be a number, right? If I run, I get str. So Python is actually seeing name or what is entered by default when you use the input method or function, input function as a string, as a word, even if you enter a number. So now, how do we prevent that? You can specify the data type, the kind of thing you want to accept in here. You want to accept into name, or let me make this one age. Make here age to make it more. Mind you, I said let your variable names represent or kind of correlate what you are actually up to. Yeah. So that is something I want to put up. Very very important, and it's very very important to know. So if right now I run this, you saw it was string. Now for me to prevent this, I know that age is a number, it's an integer. For me to prevent this, I can do this by, instead of just typing input, I will use the int, the int method function, telling you that, or telling Python that I want everything stored to be, integer before I do the what is your age. Now, what it means is I'm telling Python, I just wrapped the input what is your age with a function called int. So the int for integer. So if I run this right now and I type 12 and I come here and rerun, now I get int. Now it is an integer, it is a number, a whole number. Now look at the another advantage. If I run this and I maybe type muta by accident, I get error. It says invalid literal for int with base 10 muta. So meaning what it means is that there is no integer called muta. So Charlie, wise up. Then I will say, okay, Charlie, right now my eyes are clear, you know. Then I do maybe my real age, 37 or 38. Someone is saying I'm not 38. Please, I am 38. I am very, very old. When I was in school, all of you were in your mother's belly. Some of you were yet to be born, like Fadila. Yes. So that's that's just funny. That's just a joke, by the way. So this is how we can specify. Now, if you want to make it a string to, you can make str. If you want to make it a float, you can make it like this float. If you that's you just change if it is integer int, if it is float, if it is string str. But the good thing is if it is string and you don't even specify, that is the default. So the default data type is string. So it's not a problem at all. So I want to ask if anyone has a question at this moment before I proceed. If you have a question, if you have a question, just unmute yourself and then say. Please, I'm waiting. Let's not keep our questions to ourselves. Our questions to ourselves. Let's ask our questions.
Okay, so since this is my voice too deep,
Yeah, you.
Muta.
Yeah. You are really audible, Charlie. Go ahead.
Okay, so since nobody's asking, let me say this. Um, let me ask this question. You said the variable should be descriptive enough, and then also one convention was that we shouldn't be using the long what's the name long. The variable shouldn't be long.
Long
Yes.
yes.
How do you balance them?
I think it depends on you. It depends on you. For example, like I showed, uni. It is not everybody who knows uni, so you have to know. Okay, who is the next person to actually, know to use my code. So if the people who are to use your code with you understand that okay, oh, uni means uni, and to yourself, would you remember that uni is for university? If so, you can. Or you can also choose university. Everybody knows university. Everybody who can read and understand knows university is university. So something like that. Other times too, you can use comments. Like you can see comments are just the ones I begin with hash hash. Since the green ones there. So comments will tell the person, okay, this is so you can use a comment and say, okay, uni means university, for example, but it's a waste of time. You try to use a common language everybody understands. But if it is a code to only you, you can use whatever you want. But mind you, maybe 10 years later, you would like to come back to visit your code. And I bet you wouldn't remember that, uni, for example, uni means name. You know, or you use univariable to save or to store the name of the customer or something like that. And the funny thing is, maybe it is an app you built, something which is already in use, and there is a problem and you want to solve it. How are you going to? That time you are hot. You really need to, go do. Um, so it's good either you document your things or maybe you comment. Yes, commenting is very, very good. Or you use popular things everybody will understand. Yeah. I don't know whether I have answered your question.
Yeah,
That's good. Who has a question
the
here?
commenting escaped me cry.
Oh, okay, that's fine. It's normal. So commenting is a very good practice in programming. And for all of us who do not know commenting, for you to do comments in Python, you just start the thing with a hash like this. So you can see this thing here, comment. So when you do anything on that line turns to green, what it means is that this is not seen as a command for Python. It just ignore it. It sees it like nothing. It doesn't execute it, doesn't run it. So, but it is there for you to understand that, oh, okay, so this section is this is something like that. So you can write anything. You can see I have added comments to tell me what I am to do at this section. So I said collections, list, tuples, sets, and dictionaries. So if I run this, you see I don't get anything, but I have something in it. So that is a comment. It helps you, the user, to know it's a clue to you, the user, but Python doesn't care about that. So please let me take one more question and then we go. We have few minutes left. Okay, we can finish. Yeah. Um, is Zainab on?
Yes, please,
Yeah, please. Are you cool?
yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay, my doctor is very, very brilliant, so you know she doesn't have too much problems. And my TA Fadila, are you there?
Please, I'm here.
Oh, okay. And Bright Owusu, my CTO, Charlie, are you there?
Yeah, yeah, I did.
Sure. Mohammed Basim and Rashad,
I'm there.
is it cool with you?
Me there. I'm lost for long. So, but if I want to bring you back, we will go far behind. So that's why I'm just following. Maybe I have to catch up with the video. Yeah, the tutorials on the Google class. So I have to. Or this video. I don't know if you upload it there for us.
Yeah, so I'll drop all of them by the end of the week. I'm there. Maybe by Monday, Tuesday, they should be out. Yeah. But you can also use the tutorial videos, the tutorial sheets, and then you can also um, watch YouTube videos too. Yes.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
So
Then thank you.
you're welcome. Nanamwa,
Okay, I would like to ask, you see the example you did, age equals string input, what is your age? So
yeah.
what if, let's say, name equals um, string input, what is your name? And then you type your name. But what if you don't bring the string there? Won't the Python be able to read that it's automatically a string?
Okay.
Since the name you inputted are in strings.
Okay. So Python isn't like doesn't have that feature yet. So we set Python doesn't have artificial intelligence to it. So we just set a default value and then the default data type is string. So if you don't provide any data type, for example, first when we're doing age is equal to input, what is your age? Then Python sees everything you input as a string. whether it is a number or something. But if you want anything other than that, then you have to specify. Is it cool?
Please, I
Now,
don't get you.
okay, Rashad, I will get to you. And
Okay.
what I mean is that the default data type is actually, or the default, Abby, you understand data type by now. So the default thing is,
Yeah.
yeah, the default data type is string. So if, for example, I take this one out. If I take the string, this one out, and just do input what is your name and run, there is no problem. Do I enter 12? And when I come to what is your age, when I come to check this thing and I run, you see it is a string. So what I'm trying to say is that the default, if you don't specify the data type, the default one in Python is string. But if you want any other thing apart from string, then you have to specify.
Okay, that's what I was actually asking. That automatically, if you don't bring the string, you get a string. That was what I was trying to ask.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's it. Thank you for
okay.
bringing that. So I hope all of us understand what he was trying to say. So if you don't provide anything, then the default is a string. Yeah. Rashad, you can now
Okay.
say
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
you're welcome.
Actually, when we were away, I wanted to practice so far what we have done. And after I have typed, in, and then I click on the run, I don't see the output. So I don't know where the
When you
output
click
was,
on what?
what we have, like the code, right?
Okay, can you mention the code to me exactly like?
Okay, like name equal input into brackets. What is your name
Yeah,
in quotes? So after that, I click on the
yeah.
run button. Yes, I don't see the output. I mean the console.
That blinking cursor where you can type.
No, the what is your name that appears right under the code, or is that not the output?
This, like you mean, if I run this, I have what
Yes.
is your name here.
Uh-huh. Yes. Yeah.
But do you
Where
see
can?
the box?
Yes. I didn't see that.
But do you see the box where you
No,
can
the
type?
boss. No, it doesn't also appear.
So probably when that okay, when you look at the box here, do you see it in star like this?
Yes, there's a star over there.
So
Yeah.
probably when that happens, you can just come to kernel. Are you listening? Everybody watch. When you encounter that, you click on kernel and you come to restart. Restart here. You click on
Mm,
restart to restart the kernel. Then you come and rerun it to see.
mhm.
Now, one last thing, you can see I told you when you want to run the cell, you click on run. But you never see me go in there to click on run, but I run all the time. I don't know whether you
So what
realize.
do we hit?
Yeah, I wanted you guys to ask me about that. But I am surprised everybody isn't asking. So this is what I do.
So,
To
so
run,
can I try?
yeah, you can try. You can try. So the
Okay, so I think we
okay,
can use the control plus enter to run our
okay.
codes.
That's very true. So control enter. You click on the control, you don't leave your hand, you click on enter. Or the shift enter to do shift enter or control enter to run
Mhm.
for you. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I think it
Yeah.
disappeared.
And then if you want to, insert, create insert a new cell, like I told you click here and then insert.
Yes.
The
Yes.
shortcut is you can use escape plus B, escape B. You can see I don't click on all those ones, so I use the shortcut escape B to insert a cell below the one you have selected. So for this one, if I do escape B, you realize there is a cell below cell, the cell I selected. Now if I want to insert a cell above that, above this one, this one with the blue. All I do is click escape A, and you can see a cell above. And I told you how to delete, right? I taught you how to delete. So that's it. I don't know. Are you guys tired? I wanted us to. Okay, I think someone wants to ask a question. Okay, right.
Yeah, I think when you're talking about a shortcut for adding a cell above and below,
Yeah.
I tried escape X and I think it got deleted. So if you want to delete shortcuts, you can also use escape
Okay.
X.
I'm glad. Like you guys are really doing well. Now let me show you one thing. If you want to know more about the tips, all you do is you click on help and you come to shortcuts. Where is it? My keyboard shortcuts. If you click on it, you can see we have a lot here. You can just scroll down, you know, tens of them there. You can read about them. Okay, so that's it. That's how you can perfect yourself about that. Very soon I'll teach you how to, do add all these texts. We can add images. Very when we advance, you see me adding images to the notebooks and all the links and stuff. In the tutorial sheet, for instance, I have links in it and all those stuff. Some box are even green and all those. We will do all those stuff. Yeah, if you are. So I don't know. I don't want to bombard you people with a lot of things because some of us, most of us are absolute beginners and we don't want to worry. I don't want to just break up your head today. So I wouldn't like to talk. I wanted us to finish lists and then tuples and sets, but I feel more like they are a bit technical. Or maybe if you want me to, I can just go through for you. What do you guys think? Just unmute yourself and then.
I think you can continue on next time. You can
You can.
digest what you've learned so far. Yeah.
Okay. Akwa ewu bebre o
That's my
city.
suggestion.
And I
Okay, well, I Zainab here. Zainab,
a
you're right.
second.
Okay, second, all right. Okay. Yes, yes, boss. Guys, let me hear from you. Mohammed Basim, Rashad, Nanamwa, my Nanamwa.
Yes, I think I also second that.
Okay,
Yeah, those confusing confused.
okay. That's nice. Rashad too said
Right.
yes,
Yeah, I think we've done a lot, and
a lot. Okay.
we have to break
Nanamwa,
this.
Oh, okay. You next time. Next time.
Allah, Nanamwa Hiti. So, that's it, that's it. He's the only Nana in our mix, so you people, we are privileged to have you, Nanamwa. And then, before I come to my tea, the other guys, um, let me see. Jacobina. Oh, I never mentioned your name. Jacobina.
Yes, please, I second.
Oh, I thought it was a guy. Oh. I never knew. I thought it
No,
was
please.
Jacob and the guy maybe he wanted to prophesize it. Oh, I see Jacobina. Okay, Kwamsi. From which school?
Yes, please.
University. Oh, wow. That's nice. Actuarial science.
Yeah,
Second year. Now going to third year.
yes, please.
Oh, that's nice. Maybe you know me. Maybe I know you too. Maybe you know.
Yeah, I've seen your.
Oh, okay. That's nice. Mohammed Fauzan. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we should continue some other time because what we've learned today, I'm almost exhausted. So it's okay for today.
Okay, that's nice.
Hmm.
So, my TA saying um, she is also exhausted. My TA has to go and do other stuff. So, TA, what do you think?
Yeah, I think we should continue another time.
Okay, since my TA has said so. On this note, I don't know how did you guys enjoy this thing? Was it nice? Okay, Abubakar Siddiq. Oh, Charlie, I forgot to hear. You can speak.
Okay, please, with regards to the class, I've not been able to access it.
The Google Classroom.
Yes,
Did you type Google Classroom and then you clicked on sign in or sign up and you use your email and the password I gave you?
no, but then I have it on my phone. I was actually in one class. So I was thinking it would just switch off and then come in, but I
Hey,
couldn't find it.
W. That's why. Did you write the password?
No, I was thinking it would count for me to add it, but then
Sure. It doesn't have it like that too. It is heavily protected. So you didn't write the password, right?
I did.
Okay, so you can use the password. You can use the
So I
password.
have to connect it to my machine before I do it on my phone.
So when after doing that, after signing in, it will be added to your class system. So
Okay.
Mohammed, yeah, thank you, Mohammed Fauzan.
Yeah, concerning the password, I do not have access to that. So what
Okay,
can you
so
do
you
about it?
can you can DM me after the listing and I'll forward the password to you. Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. And please don't share the password with anyone. Umar Dawood, you don't have the password.
I don't
Okay,
have the password.
okay.
Okay, sure. So I'll forward it. You just send me a DM and I'll forward it to you guys. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
sure. Guys, thank you all for coming. And you are so amazing. We've had our first share of programming, those who are new to it. Practice. If you don't have any, if you have any challenge, if you don't have any challenge, fine. But if you have any challenge, just DM me. You can call if you text me and I'm off for long. You can just call me or send me an SMS, something like that. I don't respond to WhatsApp messages very quickly, so you can give me SMS or call. You get it. If I'm busy, I'll tell you. If you wait for me on WhatsApp, you will wait for long. Yes. So, thank you all for coming. I see you on Wednesday. We talk about LinkedIn and how to, a lot about LinkedIn, and we also address some of the challenges you've gone through or you've encountered. Okay, so see you guys on Wednesday. We continue in our group. Have a good evening. A very
Thank you very much.
special,
Have a
okay,
pleasant
a
day.
very special
Please, it's
good
like you
evening.
forgot about the pool Samsung, the
Yeah, yeah,
debate
yeah.
about
Oh,
how
Nanamu,
was the
Nanamu.
time.
Sorry, sorry. Yes, I
Yeah,
would.
we forgot.
I'll put that. I'll put that in.
All
Let
right,
me
all
go
right.
and eat right now and see it, and then
Okay, okay, okay.
yeah. Thank you for reminding
Thank
me.
you very much for today.
Oh, Nanamu, you are making me very, very happy. Unlike my tea, Fadila.
Thank you, boss. God bless you.
Allah, I see you. Charlie, thank you too.
Yeah, it's been a wonderful presentation. Thank you very much.
You're okay. I'm glad. So see you guys on Wednesday.
Please, one more thing. The actuarial
Okay.
science inside the group, actuarial science students inside the group, please vote for Muta for outstanding personality. Or outstanding what?
I think I'll stand
Yeah,
actuarial science
outstanding
student of the year.
science student of the year. Yeah, don't
Yeah,
forget to vote for him.
I didn't even know. Thank you very much, Charlie.
You're
This,
welcome.
yeah, you people should at least vote for me. I'll vote for myself too. So vote for me. Ali, let's go win. It's nice. Okay,
Thank you. Yeah, we'll
you're
do
welcome.
that. But how many time do we have? Like, when is it going to
I think
expire?
we have now up to the next month, so you can do that.
Oh,
You
okay,
can
okay.
put 1 million votes. So that'll be like Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So see you guys Um, we meet on Wednesday. Fadila.